Hey guys, this is Frank with Whitebox Custom Guitars in Thousand Oaks. We're going to give you a more up-close and personal view of the Purplexing 50. This is actually the Jim.Wigle Motor City AmpWorks Purplexing 50. 50 watts, that's two EL34s. If you see here, you have your presence control, bass, mid, treble, your gain for channel 1, which is your treble side, and gain for channel 2, which is your bass side. The cool thing about this amp is even though it says presence, that's actually your master volume. Kind of a thing that Jimmy likes. Now, one of the things that you have here, of course, with the original like plexi type designs, is you have your treble side here and your bass side here. Now, the original idea was to have your guitar player plug into the treble side and your bass player plug into the bass side, so you can actually run both instruments simultaneously through the same amp. Of course, as venues got bigger, people started getting louder and they started turning their volume up, and the amp started to distort. So guys like Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton took advantage of that by just taking a cable and plugging from channel 2 into the low side of channel 1. That way they could actually distort the treble channel and slowly bring in a little more low end from the bass side. That just made the amp sound fuller and bigger. So what we're doing here, I'm going to give you an example of some of the clean sounds on the Purplexing. We're using a Coyote gold top. This is actually really cool. This is actually a gold top Coyote DiMarzio pickups, and also the dark wood back on it. In person, it's just a beautiful guitar and has a great review on the November issue of Guitar Player, editor's pick. You would think if you read that article that it's almost like if they were actually selling the guitar themselves. Really cool, man. So this is going to be the single coil mode. And this is actually going through the low input. So you can see really cool, clean sound, a lot of glisten on the high end, still fat underneath the low end. And you know, if you like to use pedals, this is a great tool to use in that mode. Or if you're just a country guy, you can just a slight break up underneath the note if you really push it. Very cool. If you like effects, you can add a little wetness to it. If you like a lot of effects, you can do something like this. Just a quick sample of some of the clean sounds. Now you can also get that channel to break up a little bit. Again, just like old Marshalls would from that era, or any British amps from that era, just pushing the gain up a little bit will get you some gain by just pushing the preamp section. Saturation again. little more saturation, of course. You know, bring the preamps a little bit up. Really cool tone. You can even for the like old like Billy Squire. Again, with the Thai Coyote, the cool thing is I can actually go into a single coil mode for that particular sound and bounce back and forth from that mode into humbucking mode. This channel is going to be a little more saturation. If you're a JCM 800 JMP kind of guy, if you back these off a little bit, you're in familiar territory. You totally cops that whole sound, maybe a little more sustained. Now, like me, I used to be able to boost. You know, my JCM 800 was like a rad pedal in the early days. But then again, it kind of thinned out your tone. In this case, you actually still keep that tone fat by pushing the preamp section up. Really no need to add a boost pedal unless you decide that you want to. Now, we're going to go up into the high gain section. Again, this is sort of just a modified type of Marshall. So you get more saturation, just very cool. Nice saturated tones just coming directly out of the amp. Modified, but still, you don't lose any of that, I want to say that modified early British tone that you were looking for, that a lot of us have plugged into those amps and said, wow, man, if I just would have had a little more saturation. The cool thing about this amp is it does have more saturation available to you. And on top of that, your tone doesn't really change. It just gives you just more gain. Has an effects loop, which a lot of those amps, of course, did not have. So it gives you the ability to wet up your signal a little bit. Just a nice little grease underneath everything, so that way it just makes it a little more pleasurable to play. Now, if you want to do a little more of a, let's say, let's get you a tone that is sort of reminiscent again of the that era, early 80s modified Marshall kind of thing. But I'm going to boost the front end with a blues driver, and again, that particular setting on that quad reverb is the reason why I'm doing that particular lick. But it's a cool thing. You can just kind of give you an idea of like just the possibilities of just by having a real simple rig. And if you want to boost the front end of it, you can. And it responds really well to the boost. I mean, so some sound samples from the Purplexing 50. We're also using a Whitebox Engineering 4x12, thanks to Doug White. Excellent cabinets, man. These are actually running some Eminence Private Jack 50-watt speakers. Similar to the old Celestion Greenback, a little more wattage behind them. They break up really nicely, very warm, and not harsh at all. And the Purplexing 50 sounds great through them. So if you have any questions, again, man, feel free to let us know. You can contact us at 805-379-1826. This is not a real pricey head, to be honest with you. The 50 watts, at least the ones that we're selling right now, retail at about $2,200. And but give us a call for any kind of discount price. You can also you can reach us via Facebook at musicboxcustom.com. You can also look for the website, which should be out shortly, www.musicboxcustom.com. And thanks again for listening. This is Frank at Musicbox.